Hello and welcome. Well, assuming I set this all up correctly, once more. Test, test. Okay, good. Things are working. Well, let us get to Solo Sunday. Well, wait, Friday. You know, Sunday is Friday and all that. The usual stuff. Anyway, let's get to, you know, the playing of Galactic Requiem. Of course, we last left off having completed our first arc, so we'll pick up there. Okay. Here we are, if I have map tools prepared correctly, and I do. Good. So, assuming I don't close the wrong window, there we are. Of course, we last left off with our adventure, Juliana Aldous, going around and, well, having secured the target, and we've decided to prolong our stay in the city so we can world build it some more. Of course, we'll be just simply playing in the city today, but we'll see where it takes us. I mean, playing and world building are tied together when running a solo game and when you don't know any of the, what the bot will do. So let's quickly make sure it has been a while since we last ran this. So let's make sure I have our sheet ready and working. This will be a bit slower of a session as we don't have any, well, theoretically, we don't have any combat or encounter. We're sort of between encounters. Then again, it's really what the bot says, and it's not so much encounters as living in the world and all that. Well, as a mercenary who goes on adventures and the like, so let's see where it takes us. First things first, where is it? Like I always say, and never do, we should, or at least I should, organize my windows and all that so I know which ones do what. There we are. Good, it didn't break, so it still works. Go over to here, minimize that, set it to 150 to make it visible probably. There we are. Perfect. Our adventure is of course Juliana Aldous, level 5, soon to be level 6 hopefully. Average NPC class because it's the most versatile and lets us show off all the features of Galactic Requiem. So let's check our inventory real fast. Like I said, it's going to be a bit slower as we're between encounters. Of course, we need to figure out if there's anything we want to buy, any skills we want to train. We have to remember how much money we have. Very good. 83,900 galactic standard credits, which is, a reasonable amount. Juliana Aldous could just simply survive for a while with that much, but we're not buying anything good, We're not getting space combat armor or anything of that. Well, actually, we could get like heavy armor, but we already have heavy armor. We're not getting powered armor without anything. Could get a bunch of guns, but we don't really need that. We might need to restock on some ammo. I mean, we have 10 energy cells, one empty and one at less than half. Well, yeah, less than half. So, I mean, it's fine. I'm pretty sure those clues are now useless to us as we have the details, meaning they Well, technically you can save clues. There's a chance they'll disappear, so we'll keep the clues. For now, they just don't 100% guarantee the ability to craft a conclusion. Okay, let's see. We got a hover bike. We should use our contact at some point. Well, when we have reason to use our contact. Okay. So we have a good idea of what we have, and basically we don't need anything off the top of the bat. Probably, I mean, food more than likely. I mean, we're carrying rations, probably. Let's see. That would be in the kit of survival. Yeah, we got rations, but, probably can get something from the city, something proper and the like. Okay. Of course, we're in the overview map, which we still need to work on some more of. But that's for our world building streams. Unless we need to go somewhere specific, then we'll, build it out slightly as we go, but we're not going to focus on filling out the map here. Let's see. Another thing I need to organize is our map list. I believe city. Underground overview? No. This one. Yes, this is the right map. Here we are. So we are and were last having just returned to the gang base. We, of course, are working with a local gang that's allied with the government. Well, the local gang is allied with the Black Ops department of the government that we're working for to infiltrate the foreign country, to retrieve the target, etc., etc. For those of you new here, we have been running this for a while now. I mean, of course, we've been running Galactic Requiem for a long while, but we've been running the mercenary campaign with Juliana Aldis for quite a few sessions. So there is, background and all that. Here we are. Of course, as always, we talk about any of the background and all that. There is usually just generally, of course, when we're playing as a character, we can, of course, go into details of what they know. But my one basic, thing I don't answer, really, is questions that aren't easily available to a character or on the net. It keeps a sense of mystery and discovery. So, of course, we can talk about FTL and how that works all day, but we're not going to go into the super secrets of, where's the hidden stashes and secret background stuff, Because, well, we have players of Galactic Requiem, and I think that discovery and figuring out mysteries and finding answers is valuable. It's it's an interesting thing to find details, figure out the mysteries, solve it all, and all that. Okay, so do we have actually a place here to stash the target? We could probably just stash them in a room. Yeah, we'll stash them in a room. So, having returned to base, our mercenary unit, we have Juliana Aldis and 3 other mercenaries. For the record, since it has been a while, Juliana Aldis doesn't actually, know her mercenary allies. Not entirely. It's not like she's worked with them before. They they were assigned to the same mission by the government that she's working for. They sent in a team of mercenaries. So they're all on the same side, but it's not like you Arnoldus knows them well or anything. I mean, of course, they talk in their car rides and all that. Anyway, let's see. 1 second. My apologies. I'll be right back. Okay. Nope. Hmm. Hmm. Whoop. Here we are. There we are. Sorry about that. I had to grab something. My dice weren't next to me. Let's see. Because it has been a little while since we last used them. I mean, they were just across the table, but just out of reaching range. Of course, as per usual, as you might wonder why we have dice, given that there's a dice roller behind me. Yeah, right there. Probably. Yes. Of course, we roll all of our dice that are in character and or for the enemies with our dice roller behind me for, fairness sake. And so you can see the dice rolls. Anything that's random generator, we might roll on the dice roller, but as I've said before, we run Galactic Requiem. It's a very custom-ish system. So I have lots of files and all that. And swapping between documents gets annoying when I might lose where they are. Like if I bring another tab forward, I might lose which document I'm in. And then if I have to type something down, it just gets annoying. So anything that's basically not relevant to character or like, event or has significant impact will roll with physical dice if I have to bring up another sheet. If I don't really need to have to bring up another sheet, we'll probably roll it here. But, like if I have to search through a file to find a specific location and tab out, we roll those because it's just easier than fumbling with all the layers. As I said, I need to organize those. If it was easier to organize, I might be able to do it easier, but, you know. But yeah, all of our, you know, consequential dice rolls are with the dice roller behind me. Let's see here. So, returning from the mission, they will, of course, inform the gang boss. They'll just quickly inform the gang boss that they have the target, and they'd like to quickly stall the target here, and that they want some gang guards to, well, guard the target. Let's see. I mean, this is one of those things where we don't need to roll. So the way the bot works, of course, is the way the bot works in a solo campaign. We'll go over it again because it's been a long while since we last played. The bot GMs, we have charts and objects and all this stuff that basically interprets. Well, it generates words and pictures and all that, and we interpret them. So the bot can throw random events at us. It can decide anything. It can theoretically map. It can generate details. It can do all that stuff. Technically, like it can. That it has trouble generating like interior building maps. It works, but it has a little bit of trouble because it doesn't, think. If you're like, I'm going to use the random generator to map a store, it's going to have trouble because it doesn't think like it's just a series of charts. It doesn't really think like a person. So of course, little intervention is needed in the map department. As for generating events and all that, we interpret them. But, like if we don't, not everything's completely up to interpretation, of course. Like if we ask, is the door locked? The bot will either give us a yes or a no. Of course, we can weight it with likelihood, but it'll give us yes or no. But if it's like, what do we see in the building? It might say blue and see, that's the thing. That's why we have charts, because, it's easier than, oh, I accidentally hit the wrong button. Here we are. So yeah, it might say blue and wrench. So what does that mean? Blue and the color it gives us, let's say it gives us the word blue, which it can do, and the picture of a wrench, which is right in front of me. So it could say, you know, blue wrench. What's that mean? We see in the building. So we see pipes, water pipes. It is a, not factory, but like maintenance area full of water pipes, blue and wrench. So it's up to interpretation in some cases like that, but it can also give us plot events and things with more solid answers and all that. It really depends on how the flow chart goes for answering questions and all that. Anyway, so we don't technically know what's going to happen. Of course, we generate some plot points beforehand, but the way that works is we generate the plot points and then we look at them and they go, say, let's say a plot point is rescue and and it gives us the name of a target we're going to rescue. So let's say it's rescue and one of our allied mercenaries. We don't know what exactly will happen, but we have to interpret the events so that likely our ally needs rescue to hit the plot point. Our goal is weighted, so we have to interpret in a sense to hit the plot points. Anyway, it's not really complex, but it's hard to explain. It's harder to explain than it is to do. Okay. So, of course, we what? Oh, fixed it, sorry. Of course we will also display the images when we can. And we'll write down the words we generate. Of course, where is it? Here we are. As you can see from here, we get little images and words and details and all that that are generated using the random generator that are up for interpretation. It'll give us words, events, all sorts of stuff, including NPC actions and all that. So we use that to interpret everything. Anyway, enough of how it works. Let's actually play the game. Probably. Unless I start rambling about something else. So, all that was basically to say, not everything needs to be rolled on if it's common sense. For instance, we can, theoretically, roll to see whether the gang boss will put guards in front of the door, if you'll agree to do that. But absolute common sense dictates that it's like it's not worth rolling that. He is going to put guards in front of the thing. He works for our faction, sort of. We pay him and all that. He's going to put guards in front of the place. So let's copy a few of them. And place them. There we are. And we will have one of our mercenary allies. One that's not injured, hopefully. He's injured. He's not. He's injured. Are we injured? That's an important question. one we probably should have checked. We'll do that now. Back up to our sheet. Here we are. No, but our shield is gone. Of course, Yulan Aldous is a caster, meaning she does magical shit. Let's see. I scrolled way too far. I'm looking for our armor. Armor has health, theoretically, that you can roll to. That's our medium. We're wearing our heavy. What's our heavy? Heavy combat armor. Okay, we haven't taken armor damage, so we don't need to get that repaired or anything. There we are. Okay. You learn all this, Will? Well, not her. Where's your he's injured. He'll go. Yeah. He's injured. He'll go. Yeah. This merc is not injured, so this merc will watch the people watching the door. Let's see. And you learn all this is not injured, so she will. She'll contact command. She'll be the one to contact command. Okay. Of course, as we've pre-decided, when she contacts command, they will basically inform her that there is, well, and as there's a war going on in the world, as was in our previous sessions, basically, an offensive has begun, and so basically, the city will be on lockdown. Also, they know that we have the target, so there's multiple reasons why the city will be on lockdown. I mean, it's not near the city, the combat zone's a ways away, but still, basically, it's locked up. So there's no real easy way in or out. So they'll basically inform her to hold the target until the situation in the city calms down. They'll see whether they can send a retrieval team, and they'll inform the mercenaries when the retrieval team is prepared. You learn all this. We'll bring up the fact that basically she'll mention that she'll make sure, not mention, but make sure that they're getting paid for this. Of course, she'll be informed that it's part of her contract. And, there's not extra pay for waiting. They paid for a month, I believe. Technically, as long as it doesn't run over a month, they don't have to pay more. So, as long as it's within the contract, and waiting for retrieval is technically within the bounds of the contract, so, no additional pay, but we will get paid. I mean, of course, if we have to wait for more than a month, we get more money. Theoretically, for doing nothing. And theoretically, it's, let's open our law book. I noted it down, didn't I? I keep forgetting to note down how much we're getting paid. It is not ideal. It seems like something I should really note down. I mean, to be fair, I'm pretty sure I noted it down repeatedly. But my notes are never the most organized. I think it's at the bottom of the sheet. Here's where we did our world building and statting of things. Could have sworn it was near the bottom of the sheet. Here we are. Nope. That was a different mission. That was when we went to the resort. Hmm. I'm sure. I'm sure I noted it somewhere. No, not those. Is it 5,000? But no, that was our previous mission. When we were in the field, let's see. Not the resort mission, the field mission, when we were helping on the line. Let's see. Like I said, we've been at this for a little while. I mean, it's not too important to find our pay right now, I'll be honest. It's not like it's urgent. We could always roughly figure out what bracket it was in quite easily. Mm. Okay, it won't be this high up. Okay. So theoretically, it should be right around here. Theoretically. No. Well, unfortunate. I've probably said this many times at this point. Let's see. I know the exact file we're looking for. The hard part is finding the file. Here we are. Nope. Not the deep frontier. I mean, we're in the deep. No, we're not even in the frontier with this character. That was our previous character. Here, we're in the Terran nations. It's not the frontier at all. I'm so used to recent uh, campaigns being in the deep frontier. Because a lot of stuff has been happening there recently. Where, okay, maybe it's not open. Okay, let's go to here, open up a new one. Once that's open, Galactic Requiem files. Here we are. The base lore guidebook. Yep, it was not open. That's why I couldn't find it. Here we are. So, it says here, assuming I scroll to the right section, mercenary work, we should theoretically be getting 20 to 100,000 galactic standard credits. Likely not 100,000, more than likely 50,000. The reason for that being is the bracket is 20,000 to 50,000 galactic standard credits for a month-long task in a dangerous environment with moderate risk of injury or death. 50 to 100,000 credits for a month-long task in a dangerous environment with high risk of injury or death. And I mean, we're right in between, so I'd assume 50,000, which is the max of one and the minimum of the other, give or take. Theoretically, it could be as low as 20,000, but I'm guessing 50,000. But I mean, yeah. So, not really that important. That was quite a tangent. So let's see. Having gotten the orders to simply hold, Lilian Aldous will make her way to the other mercenaries, inform them that orders are to wait for a retrieval team or for the green light to retrieve the target ourselves. She'll tell that to them and then him. Not that she actually needs to walk over there, but she'll do it out of not really courtesy, but old-fashionedness. I mean, Yuvan Aldous reads physical books. For those of you who don't know, this is, of course, the distant future, not even of your reality for you Elysians out there. If it is slightly confusing, the numbers up there in the corner, 7894, it's not the year 7894. Those are the last 4 digits of the year. Of course, it's like 12 million years since slower than light colonization. Don't quote me on that. I'd have to double check my notes. We have a lot of lore. Pretty sure. Yes. 12 million years since pre-FTL colonization. Around 7,000. Around 7,000? I'm sorry. We're going on a little tangent adventure thing real fast. I'm going to be annoyed with myself if I don't know the number. I mean, I wrote the law. One would think I would remember the law, but we've been at this for a long, long while. This being Galactic Requiem as a whole, we've only been at this particular campaign for a short while. Let's see. Well, in relative terms, let's check here. All current nations achieve FTL. 12,112,250,869. It is currently okay. I lost. I should have typed down the number. Let's scroll back up. 250,869. 250, and we are in 257. So yeah, 7,000 years or so since FTL. So I mean, while the number there is not exactly the since FTL number, it's roughly close enough that FTL, I mean, not all FTL was done at the same time. We actually have a list. I'm not going to bore you by reading the list, but we actually have a list of when each nation achieved FTL. All the important ones. Of course, there's so many non-important nations and some that you don't even have FTL and all that, but majority do and all that, you know. Here we are. First non-ancient nation achieves FTL was in 2000, well, 112 billion, 112 billion, 12 million, 249,658. So, you know, rounding roughly, technically, give or take. I mean, if we're not counting ancient nations, 7,894 years since FTL, not entirely accurate, but, you know, you get the point. And then, you know, all the years of pre-FTL, which was quite a wild time. I mean, I wasn't around for the pre-FTL era, but, quite a wild time. I mean, the Empire was around, of course. But it's not like we were flying around in, you know, non-FTL ships. We are, of course, the most advanced faction in the galaxy. So, let's see here. Here we are. But yeah, like when we say pre-FTL, we also do imply space transit. Pre FTL is, you know, we at that point we'd be considering pre where is it? I know I have it listed. Sorry, another tangent. Um we should have it listed as galactic colonization begins. Where is it? Yep, here we are. 111 billion 998,270,000 or so. It is this little approximate is when non-FTL galactic colonization by most nations begins. Most nations being, like territory was not the nations weren't the nations yet. We also have the date each nation was created, but once more, we're not going to read off a list of numbers and nation names and tell you when each nation was generated. We're here to play the game. We're not playing the game. Welcome to Galactic Requiem, where we ramble about everything. Let's see. So, all that, I really have to stop rambling. All that's to say, we could, instead of talking to them physically, have simply just sent a computer message, well, or audio, or literally broadcast ourselves into the mind. Everybody has computers in their brains. We've had computers in our brains since before FTL. We've had computers in our brains for 12 million years. Well, you know, individually, but galactic civilization as a whole has been putting computers in brains for over 12 million years at this point. But, I mean, like, even, we're doing it again. Lore-wise, the pre-FTL era is rather unknown. It's not like it's unknown. It's just a lot's been lost because technically the pre-FTL era, hell, the early FTL era is it's not entirely lost, but not all the data's there from shortly after. I mean, it's been 7,000 years. There are archives probably all around, more than likely, but you know what I mean. Not all of it's there. So many worlds, so many things that can go wrong. So much data being created. Let's see here. Yeah, the pre-FTL era, when galactic colonization was going around, at that time, technically, there was a war between the Empire and the ancient nations. And so, the Empire, we didn't we didn't give a fuck about their ships and all that slow non-FTL stuff. Some of them were probably destroyed in the name of imperial progress. I mean, I say some. Slight tangent for fun. When I say some, of civilization was destroyed by the Empire during that era. Well, during the Imperial conquest and all that. All of this territory that is now Imperial territory. I suppose I need to point. All of this, and a lot over here, and some down here, theoretically had civilizations in it. Not necessarily major civilizations. I mean, they were early civilizations. They didn't really have FTL at the time. So, it was quite easy. A bit too easy to conquest them. I mean, what are you going to do when your ships are basically made out of aluminum and titanium when you're up against space steel and space alloys and, you know? I mean, just maneuvering alone. Wow, they can't back up their system because we just have FTL. Congrats, send your backup. It'll get there in what? 3 years if the system's well, like 6 years if the system's 3 light years away. Maybe a bit less, but 3 light years, 6 or so years for reinforcements to arrive. Meanwhile, we can just pour an entire fleet in there. Basically in hours. FTL takes hours, by the way, unless we use jump drives, which are instant but then recharge. Which I suppose is a downside. I mean, you can theoretically ambush a ship that has used its jump drive because they jump in and then they have to recharge their jump drive before they can FTL again. So if you jump somewhere, you get there instantly, but congrats, you have to wait for, there's no retreat at that point. While with a normal FTL drive, theoretically just jump, but not jump, but, like FTL away. But speed-wise, you just don't beat a jump drive speed-wise because you get there instantly. But we're working on an FTL lore video. That'll all be there. But first, of course, next week. Oh, 3 days. Monday the 4th. We are having our first extra-dimensional Imperial News broadcast. We will be having a news broadcast for you all. I nearly lost track of when it was. But yes, once more, my apologies. We've rambled for the first 40 minutes of this. We ramble a lot, but we sometimes get progress done. Look, sometimes, some days, we're more progress-oriented. Some days, we're more ramble-oriented. Let's see. Of course, I should save all rambling for World Building Wednesday. But, we didn't world build this Wednesday, so I suppose all that built-up rambling just needs to be done, Like I said, it would be a slower day. And even if we actually get something done, it'll be small scale. Like, I've said this before. I enjoy the small details. I like describing a character's day. And we can do that here, theoretically. I mean, I don't, and it's what I like doing, so that's what we'll do. Sometimes we'll have action. Sometimes we'll talk about the scene before us. Of course, we could be, fancy. That's what I'm looking for. I was thinking of other words, but fancy works. And like actually, like map the stuff in front of us if we weren't busy with other things. I mean, yeah. For instance, of course, I didn't make the art, but I did arrange the objects in the rooms. Of course, then I made them into a standard template because I'm lazy and don't want to put each room individually, but it makes it a lot easier to make buildings, using tokens. For instance, like this is a free token. Free as in, not connected to anything. You can design rooms or design a room by placing the tokens in and make it an image, like this. Now we're talking about game design, which is meant for World Building Wednesday. My apologies for even daring to label this a solo tabletop RPG stream. I feel bad about that now. Should have been world building, which is our other streams. They're world building. Sometimes we'll play games, but usually tabletop RPGs, solo and world building. Now, let's see. So yeah, she'll tell them personally. Of course, you learn all this sort of like old stuff. Like, I mean, she reads books, physical books. Of course, you can just download a book and know it in your mind instantly, basically. You don't necessarily fully comprehend it, but you can basically read it instantly and basically have the information in your mind. So when you have the processing, honestly. I mean, you can look anything up instantly. You can absolutely look anything up instantly. You can basically also gain the knowledge instantly, but it only provides a slight bonus. It's not like it's training or anything for like schooling and all that. That's a slightly more complex process, which is around. Like you can download skills and feats and all that directly into your brain, but like corporations, oh, here we go. Here we go. Corporations, they don't want you to be able to download data into your brain and know the things. They don't, believe it or not, unless like they hire you for the most part. They want you to pay for the ability to use skills, that is. Like, I want to be a better blank. They want you to buy that. They make sure that you can't really gain anything from a book by like just downloading a book directly into your main. They don't want you to gain anything from that. So stats wise, of course, you can get a slight like bonus from doing it, but like you can't gain skill ranks from it because corporations, they want you to pay for that. You know what the market is for that? 50,000 to 100,000 for skills and feats. 50 to 100,000 average for the basic stuff. You hear that? Yeah, $1,000 basically equivalent. I mean, like, like of course we use Galactic Standard credits, but 1-to-1 roughly. I mean, let's be honest, it's like 1-to-1 80s dollars. So, But point is, roughly. So it's a lot of money. And people will buy it. I mean, of course, corporations will on occasion, pay you. Not pay you, but like, of course they pay you, but like, give you the skill. But often, some corporations, because corporations, of course, are shitty, will be like, okay, you want a job here? You better have this much skill. Oh, hey, look, we have the package. And even shittier corporations will go, buy the package. No, we see you're technically qualified, but you don't have our training package. You want a long-standing career, right? I mean, it'll pay for itself eventually, right? Right? So buy our skill package for 50,000 Galactic Standard credits, and then now, yeah, yeah, of course, of course, the Empire, if you're conscripted. Which everybody is. I mean, let's be honest. In the Empire, it's not an option. You are conscripted in the Empire. It's not always military though. It's a government service. So in the Empire, we provide free skill download to any conscripted individual in their conscripted field. So it's free. Like join the Empire today. I mean, you don't get to choose which department you're conscripted into, but you'll get free training. That's like worth 50,000 Galactic Standard credits elsewhere in the galaxy, you know? And also all the benefits, and like literally it's 2 years of service for 400,000 Galactic Standard credits and all the training and other benefits. 40, not 40, 400,000 Galactic Standard credits for 2 years. And if you go military or get chosen for military, you also get life extension. You know how expensive that shit is? Life extension, indefinitely, literally indefinitely. Also medical service. Like we'll treat your injuries not only for combat, but like for the rest of your life. You know what they charge in the rest of the galaxy for one medical treatment? Like one, it's like 10,000 for life saving requirement surgery. Oh, hey, I want to get a robotic arm installed. 20,000 credits. Not for the robotic arm, for the surgery. It's non-life threatening surgery to get a robotic arm. 20,000 Galactic Standard credits. Of course, you can probably find it done for cheaper, but we're talking, you know, like if you don't want to void your warranty and you want to get it done at a professional, at like a real hospital run by a corporation, we're looking at like 20,000 bucks just for the surgery itself. Of course, there are packages and insurance and all that, but we we we're not going to get anything done, are we? My genuine apologies. Look, I enjoy talking about Galactic Requiem in every aspect. I I enjoy rambling about Galactic Requiem. I hope I hope you forgive our inability to get anything done here today. We will in the future, I assure you, get things done. We have had sessions in which we didn't ramble at all and much progress was made. A lot. So, you know, 1 second. Just having some water. It's not time for coffee yet. Let's see. So, 1 more second. Okay, there we are. So, where were we? Yeah. Point being, we have, well, there's there's law and rules for basically everything. We've been at this for years and years and years and years. Which is why we can ramble indefinitely. Like genuinely, we can ramble indefinitely. We won't. Don't worry, we won't. Well, okay. I'm sorry. We will try not to. I won't say we won't because that implies I can prevent myself from rambling. No, 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 no. We won't never stop rambling. But we'll try our best. Let's see. There we are. Um, hmm. Lost my train of thought. Uh, hmm. Oh, there. That's what was wrong. I was confused there for a second. Accidentally, nudged the little, lever thing. to maximum for a second there. My genuine apologies. I have to make sure not to do that. I was like, I sound weird. And I was just like figuring out what was going on there. That's why we have conscripts to solve that kind of issue. This is why we have non-military conscripts. They're invaluable for solving this kind of problem. So, yes. Having informed her allies of the details, let's see. Juliana Aldis will, basically, well, they're going to rest. Okay, here's what we'll do. We'll go like that. Oh, that's a choice I made there. That sure is. Yes. Well, we've chosen this. There's no going back now. Okay, it is visible. I was trying to see whether this was actually visible on screen. Unfortunately, I had to swap between two things to do that, and I appear to have broken both of them. Let's go like that. Go like this. Hope that that doesn't break. And we're back. Okay. So, having informed them, the two injured will need a couple days, a day or two, to heal. The uninjured's going to watch, and Juliana Aldis is going to help watch, but let's be honest. I really want to get out there into the city. I really, really want to wander in a city run by the bot. I think that'd be fun. Because we can ask the bot all sorts of stuff. It can describe things. It can give us details. We can see things, find things. There might even be encounters out there. We, of course, run Galactic Requiem as more of a world than a game. I know that sounds strange, but I've said this before. Galactic Requiem started as a story. The game exists to facilitate the stories, as in, originally we wrote Galactic Requiem stories. I am a writer, technically. And then, you know, one day we got dice and started, you know, designing a rule system that will allow us to work with the law, work within the law. So we treat the dice game, Galactic Requiem, as more of a world, you know? It's not like, oh, there's, I mean, of course there are certain, here we go. It's the level rant again. Of course, due to the fact that we have limited ways to run a game and that we've chosen at this point D20 because OGL and all that, open gaming license and all that. And because it's what we were familiar with, 3.0 and 3.5. Of course, Galactic Requiem is not 3.0 or 3.5, but it's loosely based on the 3.0, 3.5 OGL, which a lot of, you know, the lots of stuff is based on 3.0 and 3.5. Anyway, rules-wise, we've dug a hole and we're stuck in it now because we've been at it for so long that it's what we're stuck with. But levels, of course, are one of the things in which it's like, okay, this is fucked from a perspective of we want to make a world, not a game. But, you know, but the game is there to facilitate the way the world works and all that. So the way we run it is very sandbox, open world. Of course, you can have objectives, missions, quests. You can do contracts, all that good stuff. And like we're doing a contract right now. But players sometimes run organizations. They run nations. You can run a nation. We have rule sets for that. You want to get into galactic politics and use the debate rules? Sure. You want to run a bakery and use the crisp system to see how well your bakery is doing? Go ahead, etc., etc. We run a living world. So we can just wander the streets, see what's going on. Go on an adventure out there. It's not like because we have a quest, we can't do anything else, you know? I mean, of course, there are, like, from a outside perspective, from a rules perspective, it's not like we can't do something else. From a, hey, we're a professional mercenary perspective, yeah, it'd be sort of shit to take their contract and then take another contract. That'd be a bit shady. You might get in trouble for that. But that's just a world consequence, You can't, that's just an in-world consequence, not a rules thing. Of course, there are in-game rules and laws, but that's, those, in a sense, you can break, you know? Well, out of, you get the point. Yeah, well. So while they're healing up their god, you and all this will have an excuse. Yes. You and Aldous will state that she will go and do recon. Well, I mean, they have to heal. Somebody's got to guard them. She'll do recon. After all, they have a car? Maybe. Do we have a car? Pretty sure we have a car. Yeah. We have a car? But, I mean, we being the mercenaries, Yulin Aldous has her personal bike, which is a 1 to 2 person vehicle, and it hovers. So she'll take the bike out, which is the perfect excuse to get out to the city. Okay. Let's go to here. Wrong one. Here we are. Retrieval overview? Nope. This is why you name your maps. Underground base. Here we are. Oh, Control V. There we are. Juliana Aldous. Make the token small. Add a blue halo. So we'd know, because, I mean, zoom. This is the building we were in. So, stepping out of the building, on a bike, of course. Where do we want to go? There's a nice shopping place to our south. They probably won't have... we are in the very bad part of town, so they might have weaponry and the like. Who knows? Well, I know who knows. The bot knows. That's why we ask the bot. That's why we have the bot. Because it runs the game for us. Usually, of course, for my players, I GM. But seeing as I'm playing, it's kind of hard to GM. So that's what the bot's for. Here we go. You and all this will head down to the... Then she won't take a bite. She won't take a bite. She's just going to go there. She's not going to take a bite. Of course, every square on this map being 50 feet. 1 second. as we are on the city scale, meaning squares 50 feet. Of course, there are other scales, but we're not going to mess with those right now. I mean, why? Why? Let's go to the system scale. We won't move the token because it's still in the same star system. It's you get my point. It's worthless to go to a higher scale of map. Not always, but at this point. It'll take like 5 turns or half a minute, 30 seconds to get to here. Hmm. Let's see. Is there anything we wish to actually buy? Anywhere we wish to go? We could always go to the train station and go elsewhere. Why would we go to the train station? We have a bike. Okay, here's what we'll do. We do need an energy cell and a half. Let's actually make our first dice roll as we try and find an energy cell. That makes some sense. That's something useful we can do. Here we go. I'm looking for the thing. That will be a search check. Here we go. Dice roller. Not a search. What's this? Gather information, technically. So that is going to be investigation. What is our investigation? That's an important question. Juliana Aldis has a -1 charisma. That's always great. And 0 in investigation. So we're rolling a d20 -1. As we walk around in combat armor, heavy combat armor, asking if anybody has seen where they sell ammo. Which totally is going to work, you know? Like that's not strange. Actually, depending on which world you're on, it's not necessarily strange. 6. So, with a 6, that's not going to work. People are just like, I don't know. And, you know, like the people who would know that she approaches are just like, they don't want to talk to her. Which is unfortunate. Now, because we run this, it occurs to me. There's a tangent and a thing that occurs to me. Due to the fact we run this like a world and not a game, there's a simple solution that we really should have just done. Then again, we didn't know we wanted to find ammo until we were already out here. We could just call the gang that we work for, see whether they have ammo. If they don't, we can ask them where they get their weapons, you know? I mean, they have weapons. We can ask them where they get theirs. Who do they buy from? Send a good word for us. There are multiple solutions to every problem, and this is one of them. So, you know, that's an option. Unfortunately. Unfortunately. I feel terrible about this. We've gone exceptionally short for a stream. I usually like to go for longer than this, but we started late and we rambled for 90% of it, and it would just feel weird to continue. Like, it would feel weird. It feels weird to stop, but it feels weird to continue actually doing the gameplay after not after basically doing a world building Wednesday as opposed to a solo Sunday, which is on Friday. But like, we don't ask questions. Actually, do ask any question you want. But did you know the Galactic Day is actually Sunday? Yeah, I'm not even making that up. We use a different calendar system. It'll eventually be covered in our lore video on the Galactic Standard System, which covers currency, calendars, the language we speak, all that. But we're basically 2 days ahead of you. And also, like, there's only 28 days in any month, never more, never less. 4 weeks, 28 days. But, equivalent wise, as you have the same day structure, we're always 2 days ahead of you, day wise. So, it's Sunday, but like, you get the point. We've been over it before, and we'll likely go over it again. So, I am going to call it that. I'm going to get coffee, and we might be here, or there, or somewhere. Probably going to be on, might have a Twitch stream of playing a game on Sunday. Maybe. Depends if I'm busy or not. Of course, there's lots of Imperial work to do. But I intend to play some games there soon. Just because it's. Yes. And then the day after that, on Monday, assuredly, 100%, unless something goes wrong, there's absolute plan for our first news video. And then another one on the 11th. And then the 18th. And then the 15th. Every Monday, Galactic News, brought to you by Basil. That's me. I'm your host, Lord Casimir Basilius. And, well, we have Imperial News. Well, Galactic News that we're going to bring you. Information on the galaxy. We're going to cover all topics, big and small. Well, a limited amount each day. As I'll say in the intro, there's a galaxy of news out there. I'm just bringing you a slice of it, which is, it's not going to be law focused. I mean, it's the news. It's a little law focused, I suppose, but it's news. We're going to cover what's happening in the galaxy, from galactic business to galactic events, all sorts. And then eventually, our lore videos, which are harder to do. I mean, news is just, looking at what's happening in the galaxy, and then bringing you a slice of what's happening in the galaxy. Lore, I need to be accurate. I need to write a script. I need to make sure I don't miss anything, which is why it takes so long, honestly. Lore videos take long because I need to figure out whether I missed anything, because it's going to be real annoying to try and go back and update. So, yeah. But we'll get that FTL video out. We will. At some point. I forget what date I had it set for. Maybe January? Your January, that is. It is, of course, not January here. Of course, that's also a rough translation. Our days and months are technically called different than yours. But, we're translating this into Elysian. Well, one of the many Elysian languages. So, now I have to find out now. Here we are. Currently, of course, here, it is July. Well, your equivalent to it. Like I said, our calendars work different than yours. Our years are shorter than yours. Of course, this is all going by. Oh, this is, of course, all going by the Galactic Standard System. Technically, the Galactic Standard System is not something that applies to every world. So, yes, it could be, like winter season on one world and the warm season on another, or there might not even be seasons on your world. Maybe you live in a space station, for all I know. Look, the point is, on the Council Capital System, which is where we base the Galactic Standard System off of, because of reasons that we'll get into when we cover the Galactic Standard episode of our lore. We base it on the Council Capital world of Table in the Council Capital System of, I think it's the system of Table, not Table, Tavel. Basically, in short, Council Capital is why it's the way it is, and we all use it as the standard, even if other worlds have their own thing, their own currency, their own languages, their own systems of measurement, etc. We have a unified one that everybody agrees on called Galactic Standard. There you go. And basically, using that system, which facilitates galactic trade and galactic communication, well, there's 28 days in a month, 24 hours in a day, 300 and something days in a year. Can't do the math off the top of my head. Normally I could, but as you know, broadcasting multidimensionally causes problems. 336 days in a year. Anyway, it is actually based specifically on the time zone of the galactic capital. The capital city, not only the planet. It's based on the planet in the capital system, capital city, all that. Of course, we don't recognize it as the capital. It's the capital of the council. Nobody cares about the council. I don't care about the council. But, like, there's the faction, and oh God, nope, 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 nope. I'm gonna go get coffee. Have a good day. My apologies for not getting anything done. So, yeah, we'll cover all that someday. Like I said, I could ramble indefinitely about anything, forever. We can talk about what buildings are made out of in Galactic Requiem. I'll go on for hours about the Galactic Sun. It has parts, It has parts. Nope, 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 nope. I gotta go get coffee. Have a good day. I hope you enjoyed. My apologies for the rambling if you wanted me to get some actual gameplay done. Next Solo Sunday, we will get gameplay done. We'll be here on World Building Wednesday for the world building in which we will ramble. And World Building Wednesday is on your Wednesday, meaning it's on our Friday, but it's your Wednesday if you're in Elysia. Even though Solo Sunday's on Friday. Look, it's all fucked up. Don't worry. It works-ish. We're going by your dates, or at least we'll try to. So when I say that we're having our news video on the 4th, it's not the 4th listed up there in the top left. It's the 4th for you, also known as December 4th in Elysian time. For you Elysians out there, that's you people from Earth. We call your world Elysia, actually old Elysia. But that's not important. We're done. Roll credits. You know, someday the conscripts are just gonna they're gonna walk over here. They're just gonna drag me off of the screen. They're gonna be like, "You've rambled too much, Basil. No, you've rambled too much," and they'll drag me off, and I'll have them executed for it. But it'll save you from my rambling. Yes. Have a good day.